Okay, we do it live.
Are we live though?
Yeah, we're live. We're always live.
Oh, someone
And
else at the
welcome,
door.
ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the third annual Miyazaki Shits.
Is it the third one?
I think so, right? We had
You sure?
Lupin, the last shit, and then this one.
You sure?
I don't know. I never get these right. You're the
Yes, it's the
numbers
third.
guy.
It's the third. Uh, so One Piece. Heard.
All right. So there's a pirate, right?
She is. It's Big Mama.
But her name is Big. Her name is Big Mama. Dude, it's funny because I was watching this shit and I was like, man, somehow I feel like these are all just the same characters from his other shit, just doing different wacky adventures.
Yes,
It's not, but I like it.
but it
Because
is though.
I almost figured, like, because we were talking last time, right, about how it feels like he's telling very similar stories, but
Yeah.
different enough, but still enjoyable. I almost think it'd be cool if there was,
He
like,
looks like
some sort
Obaba.
of. Huh?
He looks like Obaba.
Yeah, right? That's what I was thinking. It'd be cool if there was literally, like, a
A
sort of,
Ghibli
like,
version.
pseudo canon thing where these were just alternate realities of all the same people.
Well, the same little fox scroll was on
I seen that.
the giant towards the end.
I said, hey, it's a little critter from the last one. And then obviously fucking Kimaji the Boiler Man was literally in the fucking engine room. Had the goggles and the fucking mustache and
Yeah, yeah,
everything.
yeah. My ship.
Right? Poor guy. So I was thinking, I was like, yeah, man, it'd be kind of cool if there's like a weird thing where these are just reimaginings of the same characters in like different universes and shit. Kind of interesting. Um,
You hear
but
who the girl's voice was?
who? Which ones?
The main girl, the Lupita, or not Lupita. What was her name?
Uh,
Cheetah. Yeah, Cheetah.
I don't know.
It was Anna Paquin. It's a rogue from X-Men.
Oh dang, cool. I will say her voice lines were really weird throughout the movie. I don't know if it was the delivery, but something felt off the whole time.
Yeah,
It was like she
yeah,
was
she
an old
did seem
lady in
off.
a girl's body.
Maybe she was an old lady. I don't know
I
how
don't
old she
know. And
was
not
when she
even like
voiced.
old lady, but like awkward too. She's like, and then I lived on the farm. I was alone. But then I took care of the animals
Maybe she
until
had
the
brain
men
damage.
came.
She did fall out of the sky.
Maybe. But it definitely felt weird, some of the lines that she delivered. I said, I don't know, man. This is at least the more like somber lines. Definitely like the
Or sorry, I'm trying to get to your favorite moment. I know which one your favorite moment is.
shit.
With the
You don't.
dudes, the buff contest where they fucking rip their shirts
Okay, okay,
off.
shut up. Listen, oh baby.
Show, rip your shirt.
Yeah. He said, "Oh, you could do that too." His wife said, "I'm not mending that." He said, "Wait."
It's my only work shirt.
Oh boy! And then they started fucking fighting. I said, "Is this Senior Pink?" Oh baby, that shit was too good. Um, but what do you call it? Overall though, I don't know. I don't have much to say about this movie.
Someone was alright.
Yeah, it was good, but it wasn't like I don't know. It wasn't bad or anything. It just wasn't gripping. I don't know. But that was kind of nice. I don't know. It was like a nice, just like sitting in the park, is how I can equate the feeling after watching this. It's like I just sat in the park for an
The
hour and a
music
half.
is so calming, and there's a lot of still shots where where it just shows you like some beautiful image, and then anime characters walking through it. So
Right? I was thinking too, like the scene where they did the dishes. She's like, "Go clean the
yeah,
dishes." That was like a solid 30 seconds of just nothing, just getting dishes and shit done.
yeah,
And I was like, man, you can't get away with this in movies. I said, this is almost like a TV show, or even more. Like that amount of downtime is almost, unseen in a lot of modern
yeah.
media, anyway. But that's kind of par for the course. I do think though it was a bit more like dry.
Uh-huh.
A bit of a spoilers, I guess, for whenever we get there. But it almost reminded me of how dry I felt like Kiki's Delivery Service was.
Mm.
Similar things where it was just like a lot of downtime, a lot of just, well, not really downtime. This one was a lot more action packed than that. That was definitely the least, exciting out of the ones I've seen so far. But yeah, I don't know. There was just something calm about the whole movie. Do you know
Yeah.
Mark
Oh,
Hamill was the bad guy?
yes, yes, he was.
I didn't even notice it until the end.
Yeah, I didn't notice. I the entire movie. Whenever I first watched it, I was like, "Who the fuck is that?" And then at the end, I was like, "Ah!" It doesn't even sound like him that much until
Right.
like the end. Towards the end, you can kind of hear it.
I'll
When
tell
he's
you who
starting
I
to
did
be
notice is
true
fucking
villain.
Pete.
Yeah, dude.
Oh baby, I said, who the fuck is that? That's
I
Pete,
said that's Pete immediately. That's his voice.
dude. I went and looked. Have you seen Pete's fucking work list?
Yeah, he does a lot.
Holy shit, dude. I got a lot of it written down, and I'm gonna just for the viewers. I'm gonna strap yourselves in. This might, no joke, go on for 45 seconds of just his fucking things, and I skipped a good 60% of them. This fucker's massive. He was the Shredder in Ninja
Yeah.
Turtles, Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, Darkwing Duck, a scientist in Fallout 4, pretty much like 7 different roles in the Puss in Boots show, the Cheshire Cat, Hondo and Turbo from Star Wars Rebels, and he was Hondo in a different one, Kingpin from Marvel Heroes, Vex from Ben 10 Omniverse, Karu, the Fire Lion Turtle, Hunter number 3, and the Adventures of Nuktuk Narrator from Legend of Korra. He was half the cast in Skyrim, I swear to God. Ultra Lord?
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
he's the voice of fucking Ultra Lord. He's Caspin from Thundercats, Lee Dong and the Rhino Guard from Kung Fu Panda, Patriarch and Urdot from Mass Effect 2, Fuzzy Lumpkins and a bunch of all the Lumpkin family essentially. He was in Dead Space. He was Chilkoot and the Raccoon from Brother Bear, Lex Luthor from Robot Chicken, Vic, Tembler, and Freddy from the Batman animated series, Master of Games and Wildebeest from Teen Titans, Ed and Scar from Lion King, Tantor from Tarzan. I would have
Yeah.
never guessed. He was the guard captain in Shrek, who like did like the fucking thing in the paper and was talking. He's the
Yeah.
Tasmanian devil since the dawn of time. Hawk Fu from Jackie Chan Adventures. Cortez from Road to El Dorado movie. Speaking of fucking amazing movie, we should watch that. Not even for the show, just for fun.
I love that movie.
The Great Fusili from Courage the Cowardly Dog. I think that was the performer. How now, brown
Yeah.
cow.
Yeah.
He was Ocula from Small Soldiers. It's weird. I don't think he had any voiced roles there. He was
I
Cat
just
from
made a bunch
Cat
of
Dog,
notes.
along with like 15 other people from Cat Dog. He was Rasputin from Anastasia, the fucking bad guy.
Yeah.
Half the background characters in Gargoyles. Razul from Aladdin. That one's on point though. As soon as I saw that, I said, oh, it makes so much sense. The fucking captain of the guard from
Yeah.
Aladdin. He was Steel from Balto. Chief Pawadin or Kekada from Pocahontas. Names are awful. English is hard. Well, it's not English, but Shocker, Chameleon, and Man Spider from Spider-Man 1994. Dr. Robotnik from Sonic 1993. Was it Tigress and Gecko? Tigress, Real Gecko and Saunders from the Batman animated series. Bonkers the Bobcat, Louie, and a bunch of people from Tailspin, like fucking 30 different roles in Tailspin. Monterey Jack and the Fat Cat from Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers.
Yeah.
Afterburner, Sharktacon, and Ripper Snapper from Transformers 1984. He narrated in the B movie. He was in Sing, Minions, Final Fantasy 13, Lightning Returns, Wreck-It Ralph, Star Wars Old Republic. He was Major Chip Hazard in a Burger King commercial from the 90s. It's fucking crazy, dude. The list is, and that was like 1/4 of the shit that he's done, dude. Insane. That was like the highlight, I think, for me of this movie was how much fucking work that guy's done. But let's see. Let's take it from the top.
Okay.
Fucking
Girl falls out of a plane.
Yep, falls out of a plane. Grandma, she was cool. I don't know. It was just okay. Like, I don't have much to say. It's weird. Like, I want to take it from the top, but I'm like, so she's there. The characters seem cool. She was kidnapped. She falls out. The intro had a little bit of the thing going on. It had the industry and everything was brown and dark and big business and all this shit.
Yeah.
Industrial revolution. But then immediately after, it had these beautiful floating cities, and I was like, huh. So are we supposed to not like the floating cities, or we do? And
We
it was a
love
bit
the floating
ambiguous.
cities.
But I guess by the end of it, it made more sense that it's like, no, we don't not like the floating city, but it was a mix of both.
Yeah.
Which makes sense given the imagery at the beginning. That was like the most, I think, what do you call it? Overt
Yeah.
Miyazaki style, I guess, of like, industry bad. There was obviously the tones throughout the movie and everything else. She said we were
Uh,
saved by the roots. I was like, of course nature
yeah.
saved you.
Yeah, it's Miyazaki. It's what he does.
Right? So there's definitely all the themes are throughout, but I don't feel like it was as heavy-handed as some of the other ones.
Yeah.
Um, it was just because even like there was no bad shit that happened. I mean, I guess he took over the thing and sort of there was those nukes again. So he started fucking like launched the nuke in the ocean and said he was gonna go destroy the world. So you had a little bit of that, but overall, I felt like it was a lot more laid back and sort of like, oh yeah, they had some technology, it didn't work, so they just went back to nature. It wasn't as, what do you say, dramatic or deathly or scaring as some of the stakes in the other movies.
Right.
You know that thing he played as a bugle? The fuck's it? I thought it was a trumpet. What's the difference in a bugle and a trumpet?
Um, the amount, the notes it can hit.
Uh,
Basically, it's basically like the difference between a fucking violin and
Fiddle.
uh a fiddle. Yeah. Very,
Okay.
very
I
small.
figured. Did you see
But the
the name of
bugle
that
is more
floating
like
city?
with the uh. Hold on, let me bugle verse trumpet. Trumpet's got three, right? Yeah, bugle doesn't have the little. No, wait, hold on.
I thought he had the things there. It looked like he had the three little shits, the little modifiers.
Bugle is known for its darker, mellower tone, while trumpet is known for its bright, strident, brash sound.
Huh. Fair enough. Did you see the name of that floating city though? Can they do that?
Laputa, yeah.
Laputa. I said,
I mean, it was called Laputa before it came over to the States.
oh, was it really?
Yes, it's Japanese.
That's just funny though. I saw that. I said they can't do
Ever.
that.
Yeah. Well, the movie is called Castle in the Sky Laputa or Legend of the Castle in the Sky Laputa or something like that in
Right.
Japanese. But when they did it for the English dub, they said, that's too close to a Spanish bad word. We're gonna just call it Castle in the Sky."
Right.
Um,
That
so,
shit made me laugh. I said, bro. um, we did see the same mustaches. You were right. Anyone with a mustache was a manly man's man in this show. There's something
gotta be
there.
a thick mustache, a
Yes, the
big one.
bigger, the stronger. Um, you know what I didn't see
Uh,
coming was the transformation from like the to bad guys to good guys with the
with the
pirates.
pirates. Yeah.
I didn't see it coming at all, and I guess maybe it should have been obvious, but I don't know. I thought it was gonna be all throughout. Like they did really good as like bad guys in the beginning, and then I said, oh, I said the military's here. I said I don't trust them. They're probably bad guys too. And then sure enough, they were bad guys. I said, oh shit, everyone's bad guys. That's an interesting twist. Then they had the standard anime, we're best friends now, and I said, aw.
They are best friends,
It worked out really good though. Obviously, Big Mama was my favorite, of course. Like,
of course.
I love it, dude. Strong, independent woman. That's what I need. Let's see. The Uncle Palm section was a bit interesting. Like, I
Oh
liked
yeah,
it.
where they're in the tunnel or whatever the. Yeah.
Right. But it just, and that's kind of a weird overarching thing with this movie. I didn't feel like the lore was there, like throughout the whole time. Because
Hmm.
they had the legend, right? He said, my father died, and there's the legend of the floating city and everything. But while I was watching it, I didn't really feel a legend about a floating city. Like, I didn't even think they would even go there.
Right.
Like, if they would have just stopped and the bad guys weren't chasing her and they just went and had lunch, like, I think that's like the movie could have taken that turn and it would have been the same. I guess I didn't feel the same stakes as I do of like, speaking of, like El Dorado. It's like,
Thanks.
yo, we're going to this fucking city. Or Atlantis, right? All these other ones with
Yeah.
these big cities. I really feel the lore and like, I want to find this place too since the very beginning.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
didn't feel that here. Or what do you think?
Uh, Hello?
Oh, we lost you?
No, no, yeah, yeah. I couldn't hear shit on
Oh,
that thing.
yeah. I was
Yeah.
saying, what do you? I didn't feel like I wanted to find this place or that there was a legend. It wasn't gripping even from the beginning versus something like the ones I mentioned. What do you think?
I don't know. I felt like the whenever like they did the shots where I mentioned that they had like the still shots and it was like zoomed out and you see like a big old painting and then walk around. It just felt like a sense of wonder compared to like the earlier scenes where they were in the I lived in. But I guess that was just me, maybe. Uh,
Right, right. And that's what I was wondering if maybe I missed something or like because there was a couple exciting moments, but for the most part, I don't know. I think it's because the world didn't seem to believe it. Like
mm,
anyone we saw on screen outside of like he had a couple lines about, yeah, my dad found it and here's a picture of it. But that was kind of all the lines we got that mattered for like a long while
yeah,
about the floating city. None of the people in the village mentioned it. I mean, I
I forgot
guess
his dad even like saw the floating city by the end of the movie.
right. So I'm like a lot of it felt offhand or just casual, and that the shit that was going on with like the stone and the bad guys and her, all of that felt a lot more important than the city until we got there.
Yeah.
And I was like, huh, I don't know if it's a bad thing, but I definitely felt like, huh, where or what could they have done to make me care more, or did I need to care more? Maybe I didn't. But I did notice myself not being as gripped with the whole I can't wait to find the city or I want to know what's up there and all that shit. Even when we got there, I was like, oh, cool, there's a city here. But maybe I just expected it. I mean, they're going to get there and it's going to be something that, is not cool, I guess. Whether it's like
I don't know,
there's,
but it's, like, that plays the ancient lost city always plays my fucking. I like Atlantis. I like the fucking lost cities and stuff like that. So
right?
our ancient cities, advanced civilizations and stuff. So that shit held my shit for a while.
Got
I
you.
was like, I can't wait till they get there. And then when they brought the robot in, that was cool as fuck.
I will say the robot was a cool scene, like all throughout when he was like destroying everything.
Yeah,
Because it was like an interesting thing of like, I need help, come help me. And that fucker just starts destroying everything. And she's basically like, "Oh shit, this isn't what I wanted." You know what I mean? But it's like, well, that's how you have to protect yourself. That's kind of what happens. um, because that was what was unavoidable, right? Same thing, like why the people left it. They were like, well, we have all this technology. Someone's gonna try and come get us eventually, and we're gonna have to fight back. And we're gonna have to kill him. So if we just leave it alone, then we don't have to defend
I
ourselves from
still don't
people who
understand
are
why they left it. That shit was it's if they have such great technology, like if they had all those working robots, they maintained all that shit, they would have the government, all of them would have been any kind of threat to them. Like just one robot was fucking them up.
But that's what
Uh,
I'm thinking though. They didn't want to have to kill all the people on Earth.
Fuck them.
So it's like, well, if they're gonna come after us and try and take our ship,
Well,
we're gonna have
destroy
to
your
kill
own
them.
technology if you're gonna like go live with the humans or the normal people. I don't know.
Well,
That plot
that
line
was what
doesn't
I
make any
wondered,
sense.
right? They left the technology there. So yeah, it doesn't make sense, right? You're worried about people taking it or whatever, but then you don't destroy it before you leave it. Doesn't make much sense because then they're gonna come get
Right.
it anyway.
Right.
So I don't know. Yeah, definitely the reason they left was a bit ambiguous. I don't think he put enough thought into like, you know, really giving us the nuts and bolts, like the juicy details,
They wanted to go back to nature, go back to being human. They didn't
right?
want to destroy everything they built.
Which is sometimes that's enough, right? There's definitely stories I've read or watched that was enough for me, and it was still gripping and enjoyable. But I think because we didn't get to see the people making the decision, it feels a bit,
Yeah.
it's out of context. So it's like we don't know what was that grave or whatever when there was like five little flowers. Is that symbolic? Is there five dead people? Was he putting that there because they're gonna die next?
But I don't remember. There was something on the tablet, on the stone tablet,
Right,
but uh, there was a bunch of dead robots there, or decommissioned robots there.
right. So it wasn't for
Yeah.
the robots because there was more than five of them.
Well, he was just putting flowers down. That's what you do for like a grave.
Got you. So maybe it was just in general.
Yeah, for all the other dead robots, they're all
Got you.
decommissioned or whatever.
Makes sense. I thought maybe there was something there I missed, like some next level shit of like he's putting it there because those two kids are gonna die because they can never leave the island type shit or whatever.
Yeah, they
Uh,
can. They can jump off, and the little stone will protect them.
I guess. Well, she didn't. Yeah. Well, she didn't have it at that point, right?
Did she not? I thought
No,
she
I
had
think
it.
so. It was taken
Uh,
at that point.
oh yeah, the dick with the also her name had it.
Yep. So I don't know, but yeah, a lot of the lore didn't grasp me as much. It was cool. Definitely, like that fucking floating city was sick though. All the artwork, all the fucking like the different shots they had, like the full screens. Oh baby, it was pretty good. I didn't understand the blocks
I
that were
like
supposed to
the
contain
air.
information, so I don't know what that like. It didn't work
The
right
the
for me.
poneglyphs.
I mean, yeah, but that's supposed to have like all this information. I was
It
like,
has all their ancient history and knowledge.
it was a few blocks.
That was a lot of blocks.
I guess maybe it was more than I give credit for, but uh, but yeah, I don't know. It didn't. I guess maybe I wanted more. It felt a little shallow for me.
I was a little confused by like the military couldn't get through some stuff, like blowing it up with tanks and shit, but then uh what was his name? Pazu. He fucking just had like a little grenade launcher and it blew up a lot of those rocks and I was like,
Well, that's because they were blowing up the metal. He was getting the parts in between where the vines had crept
okay.
it.
Yeah, okay.
So all he was
Okay.
blowing up was vines instead of the actual metal.
Yeah.
Let's see. The big fucking. I like the animations when characters eat. At least
Yeah.
depending on how dramatic it was. Because when Big Mama was eating, I said, man, look at her eat. Because it was just like all the way it
I love
bends and
animation in general
contorts.
for Ghibli movies. Ghibli movies animation is like the highest quality.
Right? And it's funny because all of the people are very basic, like the faces.
Yeah.
All of the faces are almost interchangeable sometimes. But, you know, as far as like the art style goes, but the actual animations of them doing stuff, oh, baby. It's just so fluid, so like dramatic too. It's exciting.
Right.
That scene was funny though. She said, "You can't be a sensitive woman like me and not learn a few things." Oh, that shit was funny.
Oh, she said that she's gonna turn into me one of these days, and they're like, she's gonna turn into you. You know, he was thinking about the weight.
Right?
Oh my.
That shit was funny. Then poor Patsu, he said, "I'll go with you." I said, "Don't do it. You'll be a criminal too." And then she joined. I said, "You're both joined in the life of crime."
You tell. I said when you reminded me that his dad knew about the city, made a lot of the later shit make sense. I'm like, why do you go talk about this place like you know all this stuff? The whole time I was watching the movie. It's the third time I watched this movie. I still fucking forgot his dad knew the city.
Right. It was interesting too, though. Like that one dude was supposed to be a descendant by the end.
Yeah.
Whatever his name was, it's like, yeah, I'm a descendant. I'm the rightful king. It's like, what?
Muska. Raul Muska.
Yeah, I didn't buy it. I was like, so if she's
He
the
wants
princess,
to be the king. He was the descendant.
yeah, but like if she's the princess and all her people moved with her, I imagine like they would have all went to the same place. Did he live there with them and
It
move
wasn't
away?
her who left. It was her family, and you know there could have been some bastards here and there along the way.
Maybe I'm thinking they would have stuck together, is what I mean. Like she and her
I
grandma
mean, look at
wouldn't have
real life.
been.
People they split up. They go to different towns and shit, and they leave their home.
Yeah, I guess it's possible. And then by
And
that point,
over hundreds of years, if not a couple thousand.
right. Well, I think they said
Uh,
it was 800, 700.
I don't know.
She said it's been waiting for his king for 700 years. That's a long time without a king.
Yeah, that's like
That's
at
a
least
long
7
time.
generations.
Right. So it's a long time. And I guess yeah, they could have split up. I was just thinking too, he would have had family. So like he would, if he was wanting to go back there and take the technology and shit, he would have maybe his dad wanted that, you know, or somebody else, right?
Maybe. Yeah.
So it was just surprising it was
Maybe
just
there
him.
wasn't. Maybe it wasn't like everyone wanted to leave. Maybe it was some people who wanted to stay, but it was the head of the family who said we're leaving, and they took everyone with them.
Right, right. So yeah, I was thinking maybe there's like a whole
Kind of like a
secret.
Doflamingo
cult-
case from like One Piece. Spoilers.
Spoilers. You can't. Oh no. That's okay. That's not really. We don't. They don't know what we're talking about.
They don't even know what the hell that is.
Right. That's fine.
What about flamingos?
Um. Let's see. Um. They had some cool little animals, little tadpole, like furry tadpole things. Um. They had the lines. What did she say? She said some shit about, you can have all the technology, but you can't live without love. I said, damn right.
Not true.
That's the anime shit I come here for, George. Why do you think I play Kingdom Hearts?
You don't play Kingdom Hearts.
Love those games, except 3. Get mad in the comments.
It's okay. No one liked 3.
I imagine there's some fans, but
Even
it's
hardcore fans didn't like 3.
true. You didn't
Like
like
me.
3.
I am the hardest core fan.
It's hard to defend. I haven't played with all the DLC though, so I've got to give it credit where maybe it's
I will
due.
say the DLC is fun, but it does not. It makes the story even more complicated when they're trying to explain it.
Oh god. You know, I was wondering when she got her hair cut. I said, when did her hair get cut? And then like the one lady mentions at the end, Big Mama, she says, "Oh," she said, "it's tough when your hair gets shot off." I said, "What?" Did dude like shoot her pigtails off?
Yeah, he did.
It's crazy. Imagine the accuracy with that fucking like old was it
He said, "Next time it'll
1920s
be your ear."
right 1920s gun from like fuck I don't know at least 20 meters. Just boom.
Shit. Have you seen The Patriot? Those kids, the main character's sons. They're like 6 and 7 or some shit like that, and they're fucking sniping people with a musket.
Shh,
Perfect shot.
don't tell him.
Perfect shot.
That shit's funny.
Sure.
Oh, Dola. Do you know Dola's voice actor was the grandma from Beer Fest?
Mm-hmm.
And she was in a bunch of other stuff. I said, what?
Cloris Lehman. She's in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, dude.
She's-
I said, oh, that was like, I don't know,
No,
more interesting
my
than the
favorite role
movie.
with her is from Spanglish. It's it's an Adam Sandler movie with shoot, what's her name? The Mexican, the hot Mexican babe.
Eva Longoria or the other one?
No. Hot Mexican babe from like everything in the 90s. She was in Eternals.
Eternals. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
No, wait, no. I think I thought it was her for years, and it actually wasn't her.
That's funny.
Oops, that's racist.
They all look alike. It's okay.
Never mind. It's an Adam Sandler movie. It's hilarious.
It's his wife?
No, it's not his wife.
Oh, but the
She's
one
not
she's.
Mexican either. Adam Sandler's wife isn't Mexican. She kind of looks Mexican.
It's maybe
she
the
is
one that
Mexican.
always plays the wife. She was in the Grown Ups.
She doesn't play no.
I thought that was actually his wife.
The one that plays his wife in Grown Ups? I'm
Yeah.
not sure. I haven't watched Grown Ups in forever.
Got you.
Paz Vega is the Mexican lady that plays in Spanglish. Okay. Never seen her in anything else. So I thought she was the Mexican hot babe that that's in Blood and Blood. Not Blood and Blood Out. Fuck. I can't remember any of her movies. Oh well. It doesn't matter. Anyways, we were talking about
That's it.
the guns. He was shooting her hair off.
Right? That was just another cool thing. You know, I guess
Yeah.
I didn't notice that, but then they answered it for me, which was cool. Like continuity wise, it's always nice when, you know, they do things and answer it. Because I was
Yeah.
like, how the fuck did her hair get cut? So then when she mentioned it offhand, I was like, there's no way you could know that, but thank you for answering it. But
Salma
honestly,
Hayek. That's her name.
Salma Hayek, yeah. That's the one I was
That's
talking
what I
about,
thought
right?
was. That's who I thought. No. Does she play? Oh, maybe she does. I
That
haven't
was
seen
the
Grown
wife in,
Ups.
let me see.
In what?
That was the wife in Grown Up something. Yeah, that was
I
her.
was saying that's what I just said. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen Grown Ups. I've seen the first one, but I don't remember the wife.
Oh, got
Grown
you.
Yeah.
Woo. Well, she was in that black dress. It's over.
You know, his real wife is in most of his movies. She just she never plays like his wife.
Oh, got you. Because yeah, I knew that they worked together a lot, so I just assumed it was her, but I didn't pay enough attention.
Jackie Sandler.
You know, now that I think about it, her last name would be Sandler. If
She
they were
was
married.
she was the waitress in Big Daddy.
Dang.
Just a random role, like not even doing it like a main character. I don't know why me seeing her face just reminded me of that scene.
That's funny,
Oh, well,
dude. That's all I got. I don't know. You got? I don't know. There has to be more, but
honestly, I don't have much for this movie. Like
Right.
I've seen it 3 times. I'm still like, there's not a lot.
right. And
Dude
it's
meets a
too- I
girl
do-
falling out of the sky. We learn about the ancient kingdom in the sky, right?
Right.
His dad was trying to find it. He was a wanted man or something because he wanted to learn about the king. Why was he wanted?
He said he lied, and they said he lied, and that's what got him killed.
Oh, weird. Okay, so it's like because he found some ancient thing, and they were like,
No,
Nah,
it
that
was
doesn't
Nolan.
exist. Or you're getting a lot of people killed or something trying to find some lost fucking kingdom. I don't know.
He was just Nolan.
Yeah, he was Nolan. They
And
didn't
then
believe him.
we got Senior Pink's fight. We got Nolan. We're just getting everything.
I mean, this came out around the time Oda was like 10 years old, so it's
Right.
like a non-zero chance. There's a lot of inspiration here.
Dude, I believe it,
Uh,
right? That's
uh,
funny. But go
I
continue
mean,
on.
there's the poneglyphs. There's a sky island. There's pirates. Big Mama.
Right.
The government and the military are actually at odds, right? Because there's the guy that, oh wait, no, they weren't at odds. He's just at odds with everyone because he
Right,
ended
right.
up
He's just
betraying even the
selfish, yeah.
government guys that were with him. But they're like CP9.
Right.
And then the government is something, or the military is something different. They're the Navy.
Right.
So instead of regular pirates and regular Marines, we have sky pirates
Right.
and sky
Right.
Marines.
It's funny to think about, yeah. But
There's some other stuff, but that'd be spoilers.
right. So yeah, they meet the bad guys. The bad guys are good guys. They go off. The whole prison scene. I think the prison scene was good. I think a lot of it's good, but I don't. It's weird. It's like because I completely overlooked in that all of it because I didn't take any notes. I mean, I had some, but my note page is almost empty because I was just watching it and enjoying it because everything flowed really well, but it wasn't standout. Like how do I say? Like when he went and got kidnapped and they said, "Yeah, do this, blah blah," and then they gave that kid some gold and said, "Here's your gold. Get the fuck out of here." And then they kidnapped the girl. It worked. It was great. The whole part was good.
Dude, the animation when the soldiers are trying to rush back on the ship when that dude gets control of all the robots, so good. And all the dudes falling
off the side. Dude, that's one of his standards. I think not standards, but like one of his favorite animation styles. I think is
Yeah.
At least so far from what I'm seeing a trend now is crumbling bridge and somebody's running. Because they did that. I think they did it in
I like
Spirited
when he
Away.
draws chaos. Cause again, these are individually drawn panels, and
Right.
there's chaos. There's fuckers moving independently of each other. It's not like one giant wave of people moving. No, this fucker's moving in odd directions. People fighting each other.
Right. He's climbing on him. He's climbing on that, pushing him over. The whole time while the entire like bridge is swinging.
Right.
No, you're right though. But yeah, he does a lot of the rushing in kind of thing, like multiple things rushing in a similar direction. Because he does it with bridge scenes that are breaking. He does it with what do you call it? The little mini dudes when they're all kind of like running in the soot monsters in Spirited Away.
Yeah.
When all of them are like running into the hole, there's a bunch of them like all scrambling over each other.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely a lot
He
of
shows,
people.
yeah, he'll show a couple of them bump into each other, fall over, and
Right.
cool.
So the whoosh, that's another one of the fucking things you gotta have in every movie. It's the like when they're going down, and they almost hit the
Yeah.
water, and they get that whoosh with something fucking flying up.
That's every movie.
Because I think they had a flying scene with the whoosh? I think in Lupin, right?
Yeah. When the fucking car turned into a jet.
So yeah, I don't know. Maybe you're right though. It's a classic in every movie. But definitely that's just well animated, a lot of that. But that's just standard at this point. It's almost like it's expected.
Right.
I was thinking though, in the beginning of watching this one, that I've noticed myself. I had to catch myself from giving these movies too much credit for regular shit. Because something happened at the beginning, and I was like, "Yeah, that's cool." I was like, "Why? What about that was any different or like better than any other movie has ever done?" And I was like, "I don't know. It's because it's old and special." And I don't know. It's just funny to think like all the things they do that's different and like unique, incredible, and all the other shit. They do it so
Yeah.
often that then they end up getting credit for shit that's not that spectacular. And I wonder if this is how like old, like how do you say, like people who just hate modern film completely, this is how they grow. Like this is how you become one of those, is you watch a lot of old shit and then you just start giving them credit where it's not even due. I wish I knew what it was though. I should have wrote it down. Cuz it was something. I don't know if it was an animation or it was a shot design or something. But not important. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, when he got kidnapped and shit, that was all like a very real good storytelling moment, right? He's
Yeah.
like, I'm a kid. what am I supposed to do? They just kidnapped me and they fucking threw me out. Like, you can't run in there with guns and they're gonna shoot you. So it's like, well,
The
what are you
plot of
supposed
him
to do?
becoming a pirate was also very short, and like
Right? And I think
he
that's
says,
what I
"Yep,
was
I'm a
getting
pirate."
to. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah,
I was thinking, because that's what I was getting to, is the fact that he comes back and he's like, well, I'll become a pirate since I can't do anything any other way, right?
yeah,
But we didn't get, I think, the moments that we would have needed is him going back to the town. Hey, the military is a piece of shit. We got to do something. Back to work. We have mines to do. We're all going to starve to death. Like, we don't have to, fuck that. We know they're the military. They're correct. You're just a boy or blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like, or even if they're mad about it, even like another direction you can go. Boom. We're going to go help you out. We're going to get the girl back. Then they just get beat up and almost killed. And it's like, we can't do this. We can't afford to lose our little girl, right? Who was living with them.
right.
And it's like, okay, shit. So then he's like, what the fuck do? I need to go save her, and no one else is going to help me do it. So fuck it. I'll go join the pirates. It would have made it more meaningful, I guess. It almost felt like the whole movie was just a leisurely walk.
Yeah,
Like, rather than like a bump and like, oh shit, I got bumped and pushed onto this road. Now I'm bumped and did a 360 and now I'm on this road or this path or whatever, with metaphor for storytelling. It was just leisurely walking down the road, and then the transition was just stepping over from like a colored brick onto a different colored brick without any turbulence. It was just, I'm here. I'm a miner. Now I'm with the girl. Now we're in love.
Yeah.
Now I'm a
he is a
pirate.
minor.
So it's like everything just kind of flows so smoothly that there was no real tension to make the transition, I think, feel more impactful.
Yeah, I agree.
So I wonder if this was just done. It's funny because I talked about the last one, how the tension was there, but it wasn't as dramatic or as like, in your face as like modern film. I think this one was too little. We needed more tension. We needed more things that pushed characters in directions against their will or whatever.
Was it maybe that the music was too calming and there wasn't enough like stuff that would go with the action?
Maybe. Also, the music's
'Cause-
another one too. This music wasn't as good as the last one.
Yeah,
I don't know if it
very
was a
calming.
composer.
Maybe I have to go check, but I
Right.
think they used
Well-
the same composer.
Whatever it was, I didn't get those moments. Like, I can't remember when they were. A perfect moment for this would have been when they were underground. And all the little like rocks start to get to glow and shit.
Yeah,
That was a perfect moment for that super engaging, super immersive, crystal music with like little, was it chimes? I think chime is like a very crystal instrument.
mhm.
Put some fucking chimes in there, just start going nuts with like the thematic, little bit of whistle, just whoo, whatever. But I don't remember if it even had a background noise or a background song during that scene. So definitely, I think thematically there was some moments where the music didn't hit as hard, or it just wasn't there.
Yeah,
I think there was a couple good bits though in the island when they were showing a lot of the shots of the island when they first get there. There was some really good shots there. I think the music was fine, but definitely it wasn't as memorable as the last one. But yeah, I have to think that maybe this is what happened. Like they just didn't do enough. Oh, that's what I was gonna ask. Do you think that? Because I'd said this out loud, but then I had to think about what that means. I mentioned that like characters get pushed in directions against their will, like becoming a pirate or whatever. Does it have to be against their will to like make it interesting?
no.
Because I think about what's his name?
Well,
Uh,
kind of. So if like a decision, if a decision is difficult, that makes it interesting. Because anytime a character makes a decision in any story, it informs that more of that character to you.
right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Because like when Will Turner becomes a pirate, it's interesting. But when he became a pirate, this movie, it was almost like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah,
I
because it
almost
was never
expected
really
it.
anti-pirate, but at the time, I mean, I guess like,
Well,
oh
they
yeah,
did kidnap her.
of course, pirates are evil. Like it's just a given that pirates are bad. So him becoming a pirate, it should be looked at that way. But because the movie didn't outright make him anti-pirate, it makes it less interesting than Will Turner's decision.
I think that's a factor, but I think a lot of it actually is. I'm thinking about it more. Is the pirate's fault? Because he had every reason not to like them, considering they did a really good job at being bad guys. Like I truly felt threatened by them for the first 20 minutes of the movie.
Oh, you mean that they should have stayed bad guys, and it
Yeah,
would have
because
made more
as
sense.
soon as he gets
Yeah.
kidnapped by them, they said, "This is our house." I was like, "Oh, cool! Now he's gonna go join them," and they were just
Yeah,
super
but
friendly.
so Ghibli's like the Disney of Japan. We can't make the good guys be on the bad side.
Right, but you could have gave me a little something because it was almost immediately. They had different clothes too, so like the guys were dressed in different clothes, and they're like,
Right.
"Oh yeah, we just want to get some snacks and blah blah blah, and we're so happy-go-lucky now." I'm like,
Yeah, now they're just goofy, bumbling pirates.
yeah, I was like,
Uh,
"Where's the shitheads from before?" So it made the transition so fucking like, whatever the opposite word for jarring is.
If they stayed bad, and it would have been really cool to see.
Right, make the transition slower.
Maybe him and what's her name turn them good, but not all the way good, so they still have to part ways by the end of the movie.
Right,
But
because they
kind of like
did.
what's his name? What's his name from Treasure Planet?
Right,
Uh,
another fucking banger gem of a movie.
yeah.
Dude, that movie's insane. How good that movie is. Go watch
Give
it.
me a
if you
live
haven't.
action of that with Tom Holland.
Oh, wait, Tom Holland watched it. Had a reaction for it.
No. I said, give me a live action of that with Tom Holland.
Oh baby, dude, don't tease me.
Dude, him as Jim? Oh, come on.
That shit would be so good. I would have said like 20 years ago you could do it with Titanic boy, sexy boy.
Leonardo DiCaprio?
Dude, he's perfect, right? He had the swishy little hair, the little like part in the middle hair and everything.
Yeah, he did.
Just drop him straight from Titanic into that movie. Fucking perfect, dude.
True. That is true.
But what do you call it? And you could use a little bit younger Joey Diaz as the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, maybe there's a couple you could put. Anyway, but yeah, no, I think that if they would have transitioned a little bit slower, and she would have been like, "Oh, you want to come with me?" Because she did have the voice line of, "Hey, we're gonna need him to get the girl to cooperate." So there was a bit of that still there, but it all felt so smooth. I mean, in my brain, I'm like, "Oh yeah, he's gonna obviously go with them. They're gonna be buddy buddy," and it would have been cooler to get snippets of their camaraderie while they're being like a dick. You know, it's like, "Oh yeah, you're gonna do this, and you're gonna swab the floors," but then they catch each other like goofing off together and laughing.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, "Oh wait, these are people too?" And then, Big Mama has the whole thing where she listens in on their conversation. And then maybe she gets a little bit softer because of that. They had the moments, I think, to make the progression of their relationship a lot slower.
Uh-huh.
And I think that would have made it better. But for me, yeah, it was just like a walk in the park, scene for scene. I was just like, okay, cool. Now we're going here. It makes sense. This is going to happen. Like,
Now the pirates are good guys.
yep.
Uh,
And it was just, I don't know. There was a neat little part there at the end. They were like, "They're getting away with my treasure. Go higher." And then eventually, like, I was like, "Yeah, why don't they just fly up there?" And obviously, looked like the fucking tree was flying pretty quickly up. But I was like, they could catch up to it, right? And then she said, "We have too much weight." I said, "Too much weight? It's the same speed throughout the whole movie." Then they show all the fucking treasure. I said, "Those sneaky bastards." That's where the too much weight came from.
I thought he was making a joke about Mama being too fat.
Oh no, I think well maybe, but I was pretty sure it's because they had all that fucking like hundreds of
Yeah,
pounds
probably.
of gold.
Yeah.
Because the treasure she wanted was that big crystal.
Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool. Like just well done. It was pretty well done as far as a lot of the characters, and that's almost a given. But I think a lot of the characters had good personality. Even the girls, I think, was it Lena? What's her name?
Cheetah.
Hita, Bina,
Cheetah.
Jita, Kita,
Cheetah.
Juanitas.
'Cause
Okay,
it's Lushita.
Juanita.
Something or something.
But she was fine.
Lush-
I think at first I didn't like her character. I thought she was boring and uninteresting, and her voice lines were delivered really weird. But by the end of it, I'm also thinking like, she lived in the middle of nowhere. Her grandma died when who the fuck knows when. She can't be more than 14. So like her grandma
Probably.
died when she was like 7. Just living on your own, you're not gonna develop very many good
Her
social
last name is
skills.
Laputa. It's
Huh?
Lushita Toel Ur Laputa.
Lucita Laputa? Damn, that's not a good name.
Lushita Toel Ur Laputa.
Un Laputa?
Yeah.
Lucita, eso no. Okay, no, we're not gonna do that.
Yeah, with the SH.
That shit's funny. But so it makes sense in a way why she's like a little bit tone deaf, I guess, or like
Odd. I think
Yeah,
it's just
or
Anna
odd.
Paquin's performance, her trying to hold her fucking southern accent out of the movie.
You think so?
Yeah, her Louisiana. It comes out towards the end of the movie, but
She did really good in the moments when she was yelling, like the intensity moments with her and fucking Muskrat.
Muska.
They pretty much their moments were really good. So it wasn't like it was all bad or anything. I'm not gonna sit here and shit on her like it was awful, but definitely some of it was a bit dry. But I wonder if that was on brand for the character, and maybe she's supposed to be a weirdo.
Maybe.
She was raised by cows. She said, "I just had me and the animals until they came." So I mean, shit. What's her name? They mostly come at night. Mostly. If we can get away with that shit, I think she can get away with these. She was raised by aliens. She was raised by animals. It checks out. Um,
Mostly come at night. Mostly. Bruh.
but yeah, overall, I think yeah, it's the more I talk about the movie, the fonder I remember it. Looking at my notes and just like casually remembering it's just like one big gray. Just it happened. But you know, when I start talking about the individual moments that aren't important, air quotes, to like a discussion, right? Like we don't need to have a discussion on a funny comment someone made or whatever. You know, we can bring it up for conversation, but it's not like it's going to carry an episode, for example. The same way that some of these like philosophical questions or like art direction or whatever, sound direction, we can kind of have a full conversation about some of the things the other movies do well. I think
Yeah.
this one was just solid. So there's not really a lot to discuss, you know, grandiose discussion, but a lot of the little tiny things were great. So it's very charming, the world. I think a lot of it gets left behind, though. That's the biggest thing. They go from place to place to place. So,
Yeah.
like, he's in the mine. He has his boss, and we have all this shit going on. It never comes back. When we go, never mind, we go down under the mine with Uncle Pat Boy or whatever.
Yeah.
So I guess we do go back. Why do I feel like it's not there, though? I don't know. Because it didn't play a part in the story. Him being a miner didn't play a part in the story at all. He could have been like a chef boy or like a baker.
He could have been a farm boy.
Yeah, he could have been whatever. None of that really played any role, I think, in the story.
It shows how brave he is.
I guess. And maybe that's why it's a little bit forgettable. Also, some of that
He
shit
never
gets glossed
panics
over.
whenever he's in collapsed ruins and when he's in small holes.
True, because he was climbing all that shit. Just like I said, what the fuck is he doing? I would die.
He kicked his fucking boots off. I said, "The fuck, you crazy?"
Right, he said needs the extra traction. Get those webbed feet. So yeah, I guess it did play a part in terms of his skill set.
They just didn't overtly like point it out. in the
Right,
movie.
right. Which is nice, I guess. Which is I don't know, it's nice, but then it's weird. I don't want you to shove it in my face, but it was so casual, it almost seemed unimportant.
Right.
Maybe they could have done a little bit more to give me some depth. I just think there was no depth, even when they went to the military base, right? I think if we were to go into a military base, let's say in a modern film, we're gonna go there. Sometimes they tell you where it's at, right? Like the opening scene, it'll have on the bottom little white text. It says, "Such and such base, Wisconsin or whatever," right?
Yeah.
And then you know, okay, here's where they're at. Then they have like a panning shot where they either zoom into a window or a panning shot as they walk down a hallway, and you'll see like signs in the background when they open someone's door, Chief so and so, and it kind of builds this whole like, here's the structure.
That's just too much sometimes because they make such a big deal about where we're at. It's an impenetrable fortress, and then you just go, okay, yeah, so it's gonna get destroyed.
Right.
Moving on. So don't
Now that makes sense. Not in that sense, I guess, like to hype up it's impenetrable, but to set the stage so I'm interested in the world to build it up. I
Yeah.
couldn't tell you. The most I got in terms of description for that base was when they did the wide shot when he was walking away. And I was like, "Oh, that's what it looks like. It's in the it's in the countryside. It's here." Then you got to see some of it, but I didn't get a feeling for like that's the general, but the general for what? What army? What country? What place?
the world government.
You see what I mean? Like there's no evidence of like
country
the
he lives in.
structure. Because they said what's his name was sent from whatever they called it. I was sent here by so and so. I'm your boss.
The government.
Right, but that's just the government. What about their government? Are they like the rulers of that town?
Yes.
Do they have any connection to that town outside of they live
That
nearby?
town is in the country, part of the country.
Is there a police force? You know what I mean? I guess there's. It's unimportant. I don't have to know this shit, but I think a lot of modern day films give me enough like that you can kind of infer all this stuff. It kind of has this logical put togetherness.
Well, the Ghibli movies don't exist inside of a country that exists, even though they may make some references to it. Like he mentioned, the weapon from the Laputa ancient kingdom was responsible for Sodom and Gomorrah and
Right.
something else. Like he mentioned, like historical shit.
I think
Or at least it looks like that.
isn't it Japan in Spirited Away?
Yes, I think so.
So there's a couple, but I see what you're saying though. Yeah, most of them are just this ambiguous place in the world.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. It's easier to like have a better storytelling that way.
Nausicaa did give us like, oh, here's this country and that country, and then we live on the border between this country.
Right. They were
So,
fake names, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
well, it's fantasy. That's what fantasy does.
Right. Which I think
So,
is better. It's better to do it that way so we can enjoy the story and not the bullshit.
right.
Because especially too many people watch movies and they'll see like, oh, this is such and such. Well, that's not what it's like, or this isn't the politics that they do, or what. And it's like, Jesus, just make up random people from Fantasy Island because it's so much easier.
That's the reader or watcher's fault at that point.
Right, but I think it gets in the way. You know what I mean?
Uh,
In a way, it can be
Distracting
cumbersome.
if it gets too much. Yeah.
Because like if you put like a fantasy place with everything, they make the rules. Kind of like we're talking about One Piece, which is hilarious. It's come up like 4 times. But if you look at One Piece, there's no allegory to anything in real life. I mean, that's short. That's not necessarily true. But what I mean to say is there's no allegory to a real life place 1-to-1. You can say, oh, this is this country in real life, and they act the way they do, they look the way they do, they speak the way they do. You can clearly tell this is France or Japan.
Inspired. Yeah, Trasosha's inspired by Spain / also Rome.
Right. So you have the
Italy.
Colosseum, and you have like this. You have what's her name? Bad Spanish bitch with the 3 eyes.
Yeah.
So you've got some of these things, but you can't sit there and be like, oh well, in Rome they didn't do this here. That has nothing to do with Rome at all, other than the fact that it has a fucking Colosseum in it.
Right.
So like their culture, the way they do, the clothes they wear, all that shit. And I think that's just important because I hear like reviewers, for example, and just people in general complain about shit like that. And I'm like, man, don't do that. That has nothing. That has no bearing on this story. And whether or not it's inspired by it, that's fine. But it needs to be critiqued and enjoyed as its own piece of work. And it's just tough, I think, to break away from that when you've done, like, put something in already these context of this is from this place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyway, fucking sidetrack now. I'm rambling. Where was it going? People. Oh yeah, the world didn't feel alive. That was kind of end all, like short story long. I don't think
Yeah.
the world felt alive. I felt like it was very no. I don't take that back. The village felt very alive. All the people there, all the miners. That was like a very well developed place. I feel like. Everything else beyond that was just, hey, we're at a military base now. Now we're on an airship. Now we're on this island. It was all very empty. Well, physically empty on the island, but metaphorically empty at the military base. Outside of like the head military dudes, I guess.
Yeah.
It almost reminds me of like when I was complaining about Solo. How they went from place to place to place, but none of it was like memorable. The way that like other places were. Like I couldn't tell you much about that base they were in this movie. But I could tell you a lot
It's just
about.
generic base.
Huh?
Just generic military base.
Right. I could tell you a lot about the base and like a few different things, right? Whether it's One Piece, fucking Morgan's base, and how it interacted with the town. I could tell you a lot about shit. What's that place?
G5?
I'm
G8?
thinking of like Star Wars. It was like a Star Wars place. It wasn't like a base, but kind of was. But the Death Star, even. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah.
there's definitely a lot of places I feel like you can get this image of what the structure's like, where it falls into the politics and the landscape of the world, like all that shit. I think I'm just nitpicking. I think we're fucking wrap this shit up.
Yeah.
Because at this point,
Ratings.
there's not a lot. That's tough. I'd
I'm-
probably.
I'm giving it a 6. It's above average, but it doesn't like wow me and make me go, yeah, I want to watch that again.
Right. I'd probably give it a 6.5 is what I was thinking. And it's weird. That's not
That's good.
fair for like my ratings, I guess, in a way, but kind of it is. Because usually it's what did they do wrong, right?
Yeah.
And I think I had a few points that they did do wrong. Like, you had 2 hours and 5 minutes, and you couldn't give me any more like lore. You couldn't give me any more like detailed, like in-depth, cool shit to like tie the people together and tie the world together. We couldn't have got more on his dad. We couldn't have like. It's stupid. It's not necessary, but it makes
I
it
think it's
so
a very
much cooler.
ambitious movie. It should be. It definitely should be like a giant manga. You know,
I can see that.
like 1,000 chapters.
Jesus. But no, well, think, right? If they imagine we did get like,
At
I don't
least
know.
like 400. Uh,
We're right,
No,
because
that's
imagine we
awesome.
got like 2 weeks. We got 2 weeks and maybe an entire adventure with him and the pirates. That'd be cool, right?
yeah,
Like,
arc when he first meets her. It's a small one, a couple chapters long, like one volume when he
right?
first meets her, and then they're running through the town and they get away, and then yeah,
Yep. Then the
he gets
kidnap arc,
captured.
where she gets
Yeah,
kidnapped and so does he.
right. Yeah,
And then they break out, and then he joins the people from the first arc that he didn't want to be with. And then when she's
Right.
kidnapped, it's not just a fucking 5 hour flight. It's hey, they're going here, and maybe even they have the thing, right? They've already
Right.
started destroying cities by the end of like, the next arc. They have the weapon. People are destroying. Mass panic. What are we gonna do? And then kind of capsulize it. Maybe the fifth arc, they take her down or take him down.
right.
Um,
The war arc.
Right. And then it's like, yeah, you got military people involved, So I definitely think, yeah, the world and the setting and all that shit has so much potential that never got realized. And maybe that's why I feel like sad. I'm like, oh, this is so cool. I would have liked to see all of this shit. But
Yeah.
since I didn't get it, I'm just like, the movie felt kind of dry. But it was good though. I'd watch it again right now.
I liked it. Yeah, I liked it.
If somebody was like, you want to go watch it right now? Fuck yeah, turn that shit on. We'll relax.
Hell yeah.
But it definitely suffers compared to some of the others. I think 6.5 is fair.
I wouldn't mind watching if it was on. Somebody goes,
Right.
let's watch Ghibli movies. Okay.
I'm gonna give it a 7.
Alright.
No, I'm gonna give it a 7.5. Because I think the more I think of
8.5.
like, no, not that's too much. Way too much. But I think 7.5
Mine's a
seems
6.
more fair.
Mine's a 6. It's above average.
Because to me, it's like all the little bits. Like I just mentioned, I'm repeating myself now, but it's the same thing that I keep forgetting. All of the tiny bits, all of the cool moments, the amazing animation, obviously, but the little moments like the fucking flex off was just awesome, And then all the little like tidbits of them running and doing
It does
stuff.
lose a bit towards the end, but yeah, a lot of the bits in the beginning is good.
Right.
To me.
So there's a lot that's good. It's just not over the top, and that doesn't deserve to take off so many points. Because if I'm gonna take off, that many points, there better be something substantial. And there really wasn't nothing substantial that deserves to be taking off that many points for. It's just more of a disappointment. So I think 7.5 seems fair because it's something that I really enjoyed, would watch again, was not terribly amazing, but shit, if I compare it to like even movies I've watched recently, I would definitely watch this before them. And some of those are
Right.
like 5.5, 6s, you know what I mean? So, okay. Solid 7.5.
You got me. I'll give it a 6.5.
Well, there we go. We've managed to reach it. Anything else?
No, that's it from me.
That's it for me too. So, thank you everyone for watching. As always, like and
what's that?
subscribe because engagement is good.
Leave an angry comment or thumbs down because engagement is good.
And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye bye.